Hey, Shalom. Call halal. Yahweh. Bahasham. Yahweh Shai. Bahasham. Waha. Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to you, Akim, pushing this word and truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. The followers of the true understanding of Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, and the scriptures. Okay, knowing that the the men that assign the crime is going to have the 100% truth, who really have the true faith that the Lord has opened their eyes up. And we know that Great Millstone, we're seeing the prophecies, as they call us, we're like the prophets of doom. But after the doom and gloom, we see the rejoicement and the celebration, and have faith that we're going to receive that kingdom and rulership. Rulership is what make the world go round. Whoever rules, as it says in Sirach 10, that's how the flow of their power will go. Their power is gonna help run this world, if you would say. It's like the machine of life. You know, we get things from the earth, food, water. Okay, the earth sustains the essential and essential things that we need to keep us upon this earth, which the Lord created it that way. Okay, and and so throughout the beginning of history, we've seen that it has been at certain points of throughout, someone's gonna have majority of dominion, in in these times and ages. We know Esau had that full dominion, okay, around the four corners of the earth. Then Jacob was gonna come. Those are the two main characters of the Lord's movie. You know, as we say of the Lord's movie, we see that how now Esau is about to lose power, and the Lord is going to set up one, okay, that is worthy, and that starts with Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. Okay, so we're finna receive rulership, starting with Yahweh Shai. As he said, when he returns, he's not going to meet thee as a man. All right. Now I want to start here in Ephesians 1 and 21. Okay. It says, for all power, principalities, and power of Slaki. It says, for above all principalities, and power, and might, and dominion, and every name that is named, not only in this world, but also in that which is to come. Okay? And why did it say in this world? Because this is a world that is ruled by uh, Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Okay? And this is, like it says, the world, because it's the end of what? End of an age, end of a rulership. When you go in here to Second Ezra 9, okay, Slocky 6. Second Ezra 6 and 9. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, okay? End of the rulership. When you go back over here, okay, it says, for above all principality and power and might and dominion, okay, and every name that is named, not only in this world, whose world? Esau's world. Then it says, but also in the world to come. All right. And it says, for Esau is the end of the world. What world? This world. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right. That's the world to come. The world is following right after this kingdom. Okay. So you have the sons of the wicked that is ruling, and this world is finna come to an end because of through wickedness. Okay. As I mentioned in Sirach 10, it goes also into through unrighteous dealing, riches and gotten by deceit. The kingdom is going to be translated from one kingdom to the other. Power, okay? Power is transferred, it's not destroyed, okay? And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, okay? So it's gonna get so bad because Esau is the, like they call it, like the final boss. He's at the end. He's the one that is the wicked in the class all by himself. But yet we have came down amongst with the heathen, the sons of men, and some of them even down there now, because Jacob's been doing bad. You know, our people don't know. Our people won't even consider, as it says in Isaiah 1. They don't believe that the Lord will have stooped and brought them as low as the wicked. You know, but that transition is gonna be a time like no other. Okay, this is the first ruler of the earth. Cause you had the Persians. Okay, you had the Babylonians. You had the Persians. Okay, the Greeks and the Romans, and now you have what, the Rome 2.0, which is what the beast. I mean that's gonna bring the beast system. But in what is that, Daniel 2? It goes into what, the feet that is part iron and part miry clay. That's what we're seeing. Okay, Esau is the only ruler kingdom or only nation that have had 3 different classes that come off what the statue that Daniel had that dream of, Nebuchadnezzar's dream that Daniel interpreted. The Greeks, the Romans, then go down to what, this new rulership, which is that beast. Okay, so this is what we're seeing right here, and Yahweh Shai is going to be the catalyst whenever the Lord sends forth them to come forth and take the kingdom. And we move up here. It says, all right, which he wrought in Mashiach when he raised him from the dead. And who raised him from the dead? The Most High Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls God. He's the God of the Hebrew. Okay. He made a covenant with Abraham. He made a covenant with Isaac. He made a covenant with Jacob. Okay. And you want to be a little more technical about it, those were the spirits, okay, that came after the flood. Before the flood. You had those spirits, okay? The ones that had, because what? It was that line of Adam, okay? And Abel, and then when Abel got slew, it came through what? That line it came through the line of Seth, Salakia. It came through the lines of Seth. You had what? You had those spirits that died, like you said, in the old world, and then those four men and those 4 women, okay, which was what, 8, starting with Noah and his 3 sons, okay. They helped what, bring forth those spirits and bring back these spirits upon the earth, starting with them, starting with 8 people, okay. So, and who came out the bloodline? Yahweh Shai, okay, which was raised from the dead, and he came back to what, save his people, and come back to what, put subjection and bring forth what, leadership, rulership. Yahweh is who the word ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is the word the word ignorantly calls Jesus. Okay. It said he raised from the dead and set him at his right hand and in the heavenly places. Okay. So the Yahweh Shai, he came and did his due diligence to deliver his people, which is who you are, you Israelites. And it's going to be the elect of Israel that he came at this time around in these last days. And just like that bloodline that was brought through, and those lineages. The lineage is going to be coming through what? The elect. Okay, the remnant, rather. The remnant. Okay. And now and that's the one, the ones that were worthy to open up the book, which is Yahweh Shai, that sits on the right hand of the heavenly places. In the heavenly places. Now, verse 21, it says, "For above all principality and power and might and dominion." Now, let's check principality. Okay. It says the beginning, origin, the personal right that commences in the first person of things in a series, the leader, okay, that by which anything begins to be, or origins an active cause, okay. I'm gonna just go ahead and go into the root word, okay.
Strong's G 756, Archamai.
Harkamai. It says to be the first to do anything, to begin. All right. And the Lord, He's what? He's the Alpha, Yahweh Shai. Okay. He's the first. I'm the Alpha and the Omega. Because we know Yahweh is what? The Ancient of Days. Okay. He's you know what I'm saying? He don't have that beginning. He's the Ancient of Days. And you have what? Yahweh Shai come as what? That first. All right. He's John 1. Okay. He's the Word. Nothing was made by him. Okay. So Esau always said, I'm the first to do this. I'm the first to do that. But the Lord is what? He's what? He was the beginning. Yahweh Shai. He's the Alpha. And he said he's going to be the Omega. Because that's coming soon. All right. To earth near you. All right. He's the first. He's the Alpha. Okay. Revelations 1 tells you that, right? Okay. And he's coming with what? Be a leader. Okay. So above all principalities, who all saying that what? They're the leader. They're the beginning. They the first one to do this. No, it's Yahweh Shai. He's the what? He's the beginning of this. Because he was the first created, and he became what? The creator. He created, and as he created they created him became creators. You got creators on the earth. Okay? But they're saying, but like to say the scripture, they're the first, the leaders. They started it, they gonna finish it. Yeshua Hawashai started it, and he's gonna finish it. All right. So it says above all principality and power and might and dominion. Okay. Above all these powers and might and dominion. Okay. And we're finna go through the power of these world, and it says the power of this world has blinded the mind. Okay. He done blinded the mind of these people that, and now they don't have that faith. But we know the Lord allowed that to happen. Okay. It says he's gonna have dominion, power, lordship. Okay. Lordship. And when you go, like I said, that lordship. So, and then what did this tell you? What the lineage of Esau was gonna have, and the lineage of Jacob was gonna have. He told Esau, Revelations, told Esau that he gave lordship to who? To Jacob. in that lineage. Let me Genesis 27. Okay. This is Genesis 27 and 22. It says, and Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, the voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned not him, because his hands were hairy, and his brother Esau hands, so he blessed them. Okay. So you remember back at you had Jacob and Esau's mother, but she dressed and made Jacob smell like Esau through that raiment. You know, when you read in there, he said 2 nations will fight them in thy womb. Genesis 25, 2 nations. Okay, 2 groups of people. Keep that in mind. Okay, that lordship, that rulership. All right, verse 24 says, he said, art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, bring it near, because he told him Esau, but it's ultimately Jacob. Okay, it's really Jacob. He said, verse 25, and he said, bring it to me, and I will eat thee. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and try to get to the point, so lock in. You know, you can read through this. All right. All right. Let's go down here to verse 28. Okay. It says, therefore Yahweh gave the power. Yahweh gave thee, okay, the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and the plenty of corn and wine. All right, and this is the blessing, okay, that Jacob received, and then it was going to go through his lineage, and that blessing was going to continue on. Okay, as the blessing continue on through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and then the 12 tribes. Okay, which derived from what? The 12 sons of Jacob. And look at this, and through that lineage, this is what they received: the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and the plenty of corn and wine. And Esau actually has that right now, because of what? He received that blessing before his blessing was going to come before Jacob. Okay, his lineage was going to receive rulership before Jacob's, as we read in 2nd Ezra 6-9. Okay. Verse 29, it says, let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Why is that? It said, because it says, be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy our mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curses thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. Okay? Let's read that in the NLT over here to the other side. It says, may many nations become your servants, and may they bow down to you. May you be the master over your brothers, and may your mother's son bow down to you. All who curse you will be cursed, and all who bless you will be blessed. All right? He was going to be, so this nation, this group of people that blessing is going through, which is talking about the time where he received his blessing, his kingdom. It said they're going to be Lord over thy brethren. Okay? This is, and the Lord said he lied not. And this is his movie, this is his show, and he's performing it. And we see the prophecies, and we know the transition is coming from the wicked to what? The ones that's going to be over thee. Lord over you in righteousness. Call Allah Yah Bashim Al Shah. Okay? So we're going to receive that and be Lord over them. All right? And it starts with what? Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Shah is going to be the one. He's the one that's for above all principality and power and might, as it says here in Ephesians 1:21. It says, every name that is named, okay, not only in this world, but also in which is to come. And that world to come is the one that we said the one that's what that follow. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the I don't want to jack it up. Let me just go get it. For Esau, all right. Let's start up here. It says, then answered, what shall be the parting asunder of thy times, and when shall the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? The second Ezra 6 and 7 right here I'm reading. Okay. The end of the first and the one that followeth. It says, for he said unto me, all right, and this is Ezra is talking to the angel. He says, for he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac and Jacob and Esau were born of him, and Jacob held his hand first. Okay. The heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay. That's the begin. That's it. Jacob will be the beginning of it that followeth. All right. So that dominion is coming to what? Through that lineage. Okay. Look at the word name. Strong's 3686.
Strong's G 3686. Anima. Anima.
Okay. This is name versus of University of Property, or wherever the unit property names. The name is used for everything which the name covers. Everything that the thought or feeling which is aroused in the mind by mentioning, hearing, remembering the name for one's rank. All right, for the rank. See, the one that's gonna have top authority, interest, pleasure, command, excellency, deeds. Person reckoned up by name, the cause, the reason name, or this account because he suffers as a Christian for this reason. Okay, that name is heavy. Okay, that's the strong tower. And like I said, also his rank. Okay, tells you about that, his rank. That name says it all, right? And what does it say here? It says, not only in this world, what we just read in 2nd Ezra 6-9, Esau is in this world. Because this name is starting to come up, right? We're starting to call upon the name. Okay? Starting with the name and remembering who we are. This is bringing forth what? The downfall of this kingdom. The wicked one, Esau Edom, is going down. And it's transitioning because it's a time for to be set up for a new kingdom, a new leadership, a new rulership. Okay. It says not only in this world, okay, but also in that which is to come. Okay. So we can have a rulership. And like I said, in this world, and that name also is the one, as it says in where he said he stood stiffly, the one that stood stiffly for the name, for him to let you know who the rank. We gave warning. We've been out here giving warning and let you know through that this ranking, which is Yahweh Shai, is going to show that name, the power, the glory, the one that is sitting on the left, the right hand, the right hand of Yahweh, meaning the Father. Okay. I don't want to get one more, and I'm probably close out. This is 2nd Ezra 2. And what are those stood stiffly? 47? Yes, this is 2nd Ezra 2:47. I'm gonna start at verse 36. It said, "Then I said unto the angel, what young person is it that crowneth them, and giveth them palms in their hands?" See, they're going into what Yahweh Shai. Okay, this is that when he's gonna receive those new bodies. Okay, the one that was above and higher in stature is Yahweh Shai. Okay, verse 47. So he said and answered. He answered and said unto me, "It is the Son of Yahweh, the Son of Power." Okay, the Son of the Most High, whom they have confessed in the world. All right, we have been confessing. It says, then began I greatly to commend them that stood stiffly in thy name of the Lord. And when you go in that word commend, that's like giving praise. So Ezra was like, he see these men. Okay, he sees the one that was stood stiffly. So what? He praised them. So we're gonna receive praise under the Most High Yahweh, under Yahweh Shai. Okay, and on down, it's gonna be an order, and but still, we're gonna be praised for by these heathens. Okay, we're gonna be praised. Even like you said, the elect, they're gonna be like you say, uh, uh receive that certain respect, because we're gonna be what over Lord willing, part of that number will be over even the ones that's the 2/3 now, and they're coming to back through the main coming back to the world. They're gonna see that and be like, these ones that stood stiffly, you know, for the names, okay, of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, okay, Yahweh Hashem, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, all right. Yahweh Shai is gonna be ruling, okay, the anointed one, the one that laid his life down for us to receive what this rulership, this kingdom, be in the beginning. Who came and what spirit came and was given all these the dominion over the world? Adam, okay, and that same spirit is going to come make that return, okay, Yahweh Shai. So with that, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Waha, Rachak Radash. Double honors to the apostles. Peace and blessings to Yakim, pushing this word in truth and sincerity. Shalom.